Hello and welcome to tizoguitar. My name is Tyler Griffiths. If you're new here, this channel is all about learning guitar with a special focus on R&B music. So if that's what you're into, I highly recommend subscribing and clicking the notification bell so you don't miss whenever I go live like today. My typical streaming schedule is Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern, as well as Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern. All right, and on Saturday we go over more general topics, things like techniques, different drills we could be doing, music theory, that kind of stuff. And then on Tuesdays when I teach more of like the licks and the song tutorials. Okay, so I highly encourage you to be tuned in for both if you want to learn some general guitar topics as well as learn some of your favorite R&B songs. Okay, so today's lesson is going to be all about powering up this guy, all right, your pinky finger. So one of the things that really attracted me to R&B guitar many years ago was hearing people like Jairus Mosey and Carrie Too Smooth play these really cool chordal embellishments off of using their pinky. Stuff like that, where it's kind of like you're really embellishing mostly on the B string and the high E string, okay? So in order to do that, you really need a few things. One, you have to be pretty strong with your bar chords because most of those embellishments are based off of bar chords, all right? Second to that, you also need to have really good finger independence. When we're brand new to guitar, typically our ring finger and our pinky finger are the ones that want to move at the same time. So we really have to work on some drills that will help us separate and get these two fingers moving independently. So that's where we're going to start today. So I want you to go ahead and grab your guitar. It's going to start off pretty easy, then we're going to actually work our way into playing more of an intermediate to advanced song with some embellishments in there. So grab your guitar and let's get to it. Alrighty, so first thing we're going to talk about is finger independence. So one of the best drills you can do is called the caterpillar or the spider, okay? So I've shown this on the channel before where it's basically you kind of work in a block of 4 frets at a time, and you assign one finger to each of the frets. So if we're on position 5, meaning that our index finger's on the 5th fret, index finger would play all the 5th fret notes, middle finger would play all of the 6th fret notes, ring finger would play all of the 7th fret notes, and pinky would play all of the 8th fret notes, okay? So really simple, it's just playing 5, 6, 7, 8 on every string. Really straightforward stuff. And now the key to building finger independence, while the way I just did it was good for working on hand coordination and dexterity, moving those fingers around, the way to build independence, I have all my private students hold their fingers down and only move one finger at a time. So what that means is once you put a finger down, it stays there until it's time to move. So once I have 4 fingers down on that E string, I only move my index finger to the A string. Then only my middle finger, then ring finger, and then pinky. So you can already see it's requiring each of those notes or each of those fingers to move independently of the others. Okay, so by doing those kinds of drills, we can work on our finger independence, which usually isn't that difficult for those first 3 fingers, or the first 2 fingers, but the ring finger and the pinky are usually the troublemakers with that one. To further focus in on just that problem area, right? Maybe you're good with your index and middle, don't need to work on that one as much. So what you can do is just isolate. So I do another version of the caterpillar or the spider where you're just doing 2 fingers at a time. So I can start off on fret 1 and 2 and just do index, middle, all the way down. And then back up. Then I'll do middle and ring finger. And then the hardest one is the ring and the pinky. We'll do that one. So really it's just an exercise to kind of isolate so that we're not doing the entire, all 4 fingers at a time, but really making sure we're working especially hard in getting the independence between our ring finger and our pinky, which is going to be crucial for those chord embellishments. All right. Okay, so those kinds of drills are going to help you out, and I advise you, if you can even start from frets 1 and 2 with the ring and pinky finger, go down and back up. Then you would shift to frets 2 and 3, repeat, and just keep going 2 frets at a time, or shifting by 1 fret at a time, all the way until you get maybe to the 12th fret, where your pinky's on fret 12. All right, so once you get to that point, and you feel pretty good about that, then I think that you're ready to start tackling some of these chord embellishments, okay? But that kind of stuff is gonna be kind of daily practice, maybe 5 to 10 minutes of just working on the independence and also on that pinky strength, okay? I'm checking chat too. Monica says, I like doing the 2-finger drill. Yes, Monica is a student of mine, and she is definitely working hard with that, and it's great. It's great for building up finger strength in all those fingers, basically. But just 2 at a time makes it easier to process. Okay, so now let's say you've been doing this for a few weeks. You feel good about your pinky independence. You feel good about being able to hold things down, like your pinky strength has built up over time as well, because the pinky usually is the weakest finger, at least starting out. So now you've done all that, and now we want to get into actually doing these embellishments. So bar chords are the main candidate for these kinds of embellishments, but you can do them for all kinds of chords. So with the bar chord, I'm playing a minor 7 chord. I'm playing a C sharp minor 7. So I'm barring on the 4th fret from the A string down. Then I have my ring finger on the 6th fret of the D string. And I have my middle finger on the B string at the 5th fret. All right, so that's a typical minor 7 shape. And since we're playing it with the bar finger on the 4th fret, it's a C sharp minor 7. Okay, so now with that, your embellishment can be done on the B string and the high E string. So once you play the chord, while it's ringing out, what you can do is you can put your pinky down on fret 7 of the B string. You can play on the 4th fret of the high E string, which is already held down by your bar. And then you can put your pinky down on the 7th fret of the high E string. So it's... Okay, that's the slowed down version. And if you speed it up a little bit, that's how you get those kinds of really nice R&B embellishments. And then once you get really comfortable with your pinky getting, stronger over time at that, now you can start adding legato, or you can start hammering on and pulling off with your pinky, right? Like that Melanie Faith style of playing, which we all love that. So start first by picking everything out. All right, once again, this is an embellishment off of a C sharp minor 7 chord. Okay, and just getting that might take a few weeks. Okay, it certainly took a few weeks for me, so it wasn't like it's just automatic. Because what will often happen is the more you wiggle these other fingers around, the harder it's going to be to keep that bar finger down and keeping that firm pressure. So you might start muting out notes, you might start getting some buzzing. It's going to happen. It's just a part of the process, right? And so you have to work on finding out how to grip that bar chord to make sure it doesn't fall apart once you start doing the pinky acrobatics, okay? And for me, that's months of practice to get that kind of clean. And I'm still working on it. Okay, so that embellishment where you're going from the B string to the high E string will work on minor 7 chords that are shaped like this, right? Another one will work for major 7 chords. So let's pretend we are in the key of C major. We have an F major 7 chord. So I'm barring on the 8th fret with my index finger from the A string down. I have my ring finger on the 10th fret of the D string. Middle finger is going to be on the G string, fret 9. And pinky is going to be, excuse me, pinky is going to be on the 10th fret of the B string. So all together, it sounds like this. Okay, and there's another embellishment we can do with this particular shape of a major 7 chord. So one thing that you always have at your disposal is you can start out with your pinky actually off, okay? So initially we had our pinky on the 10th fret of the B string. We're gonna take it off, and then after we play the chord, we're gonna hammer on with our pinky. Okay, that's gonna be the setup for the rest of our embellishment. So you play it with your pinky up at first, and then you hammer it down to the 10th fret of the B string. All right, so from there, then you can play the 8th fret of the high E string, which your bar finger's already holding that down. And then you can play the 10th fret of the high E string with your pinky. So really slowly. Okay, that's another very popular embellishment. And to speed it up, I'm doing hammer-on. So I'm hammering on from 8 to 10 on the B string, and then 8 to 10 on the high E string. You can always go back and forth. Make up your own combinations. So just like before, you want to start slow. Just pluck everything out or pick everything out intentionally. Just get used to that motion. One problem that you're probably going to run into is hitting strings that are next to the ones that you're actually aiming for, because it's kind of intricate to really be in between strings and not hit the wrong one. It's a very small gap between strings, right? So what you want to do is just really take your time and get the muscle memory of what it feels like to really just kind of restrict your pick motion to just enough to hit the string, but not enough to hit the string next to it. My advice to you is to pick as light as you can, okay? Usually when you pick hard, it becomes very hard to control how far your pick flies around. If you're picking gently, pretend like you're trying to be quiet, like there's a sleeping baby next to you. And just very gently go back and forth. I'm alternate picking that as well. So if you're not familiar with alternate picking, it's just you pick down first, that means the next pick is going to be up. All right, so down followed by up every time. Down, up, down, up, down, up. That's your motion. So I'm going down, up, down, up. Whatever I'm doing, it's always down followed by up, okay? So that is an embellishment off of a major 7. And we had the one from before, which was the minor 7. Okay, this time I'm playing a E minor 7. So F major 7 to our E minor 7. We can go down a whole step with that same minor 7 shape to D minor 7, and that's gonna work. And the reason why those sound good is because that happens to be the 4 chord, the 3 chord, and the 2 chord in the key of C major. All right, so those embellishments will always sound good if you're doing that kind of sequence where you're starting the embellishment on the 4 chord, to the 3 chord, to the 2 chord. And even with the 1 chord, that same embellishment that worked all the way up here on that F major 7 will work for the C major 7. All right, and it may seem very complicated, but it's really very straightforward. It's just kind of using notes within the scale and really using hammer-ons with your pinky, hammer-ons and pull-offs with your pinky, or picking it out, you know, either alternate picking it or doing hammer-ons and pull-offs on the B string and the high E string. That's all there is to it for right now, okay? If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I'm happy to go over anything that I went too quickly with, but that's the general gist. So to build up your pinky strength, you want to do those kinds of exercises like the 2-finger drill to get your pinky stronger and independent from your ring finger. And after you spend a few weeks doing that and you feel confident, it's time to start applying that to these different embellishments off of the minor 7 shape and the major 7 shape. All right, and there are tons of chords. It's not just those two that have embellishments to them, but you definitely want to start there. That's a really good spot, and playing those embellishments is going to only help increase your finger independence and increase the strength of your pinky. All right, the stronger the better. So apart from that, now if you're feeling like you're kind of advanced and you feel good about how you're able to play those embellishments, maybe you've already learned them on other channels or even learned them from me, previously, you're like, all right, Tizo, what do I do next? How do I actually apply this and make it kind of more musical and not just kind of messing around with chords? So this is actually a song called My Life by Adrian Marcel. I think it's playing back in like 2013 or something. One thing I always remember about this song is how many embellishments are in the chord progression. It seems like every chord is embellished. But I'm going to show you kind of a brief way of how to play that, at least the main riff to it. And it kind of starts off on this A flat or G sharp minor 7 chord. Okay, so I'll play it kind of slowly. It's really tough. So let me break down what we're kind of doing here. So we're starting off on this, like I said, A flat minor 7 chord, barring fret 11. And we're doing that similar thing. It's just pinky on the high E string and the B string. So it goes, we play the chord one time. We put pinky on the 14th fret. We pick the pinky up and play the 11th fret of the high E. Then we put our pinky down on 14 on the B string. Okay. Then we're moving on to this C sharp minor 7 chord. Technically we're playing a C sharp minor 9. We're going to play the minor 7, so barring pretty much the entire 9th fret, but we're not playing the A string. So I put my thumb over to mute it. Okay. So I play one time on that, and then I use my ring finger to grab the 11th fret of the high E string. Then I take my ring finger off to play the 9th fret again. And then I put my pinky down on the B string, 12th fret. Okay, so really slowly. Okay, so first 2 chords, second chord. All right, this one's kind of complicated. It's a little bit different because it's not just the B and high E string anymore. But we're starting off with our pinky up. We're playing a E major 7 chord. So we're still using this shape that we learned earlier. We're going to start with our pinky up. We're going to play the chord, put our pinky down, and play that note, which happens to be the 9th fret of the B string. Lift your pinky up. So we're back to playing the 7th fret of the B string. And then we're going to put our pinky down on the 9th fret of the G string. Okay, a little bit slower. Okay, so that's our 3rd chord. So we've got this one. Now we're doing that part, so we're playing stay with me. We're playing an E flat minor 7. Okay, that's the main chord. And we're going to be doing, we're going to be playing the minor 7 chord. Then we're going to put our pinky down on the 8th fret of the G string. So chord, pinky down on the 8th fret of the G string, then pinky back up. So now we're playing the 6th fret of the G string. And then we're going to play the 8th fret of the D string. Okay, so really slowly. Okay. From the top. And that's the hardest part. That's where all the embellishments are, or the hardest ones anyway. Then we go to this C sharp minor 7 or D flat minor 7. And one little thing, this is a pretty simple embellishment, but you could actually start off with your ring and middle fingers off. So whereas you would normally play it like this, you start with them off and you hammer on to play the chord. All right, so that's a very simple embellishment you can do to kind of work on just making the chord sound a little bit different, a little bit smoother. Okay, so we're gonna hammer on and then we're gonna play the whole chord once and then stop it short. So it's gonna be like staccato, like that. So immediately mute after that second hit. Excuse me. Then we're gonna go back to our E flat minor 7 or D sharp minor 7. And we're gonna do is play the chord, pinky on the 9th fret of the B, and then take your pinky off and play that 6th fret of the B. Slower. Or just hammer on and pull off. All right, so real quick. That's where we're at right now. Now we're gonna arpeggiate. We're gonna play this voicing of a flat or a G sharp minor 7. You're barring the entire 4th fret and you're putting your ring finger on the 6th fret of the A string. All right. So that's our shape for our G sharp or our A flat minor 7. And we're gonna arpeggiate this chord, which means to play it one at a time. The only difference is that at the very end, we're gonna play the B string and the high E string together. So it's gonna be like this. And right after, we mute immediately, just like we did with the other chord. We're gonna go just like that, okay? So what we got so far. All right, then we're gonna repeat the same thing we did on that E flat or D sharp minor 7, just that motion. All right, so that's 7, 9, 7 on the B string. Then we're gonna repeat what we did on our C sharp or D flat. So pluck it, hammer on the rest of the fingers. All right, and then the same thing going back to our D sharp, E flat minor 7. And that's the end of the sequence. So just a little bit slower. And then starts over. That song is so hard to play, but very rewarding to practice. And if you're playing that song, you know, every day or a little bit during the week, you're going to end up building up that strength and that not only for just the pinky and the finger independence, but also the strength to do those hammer-ons and pull-offs with, you know, decent volume. So even now, every now and then when I don't play that song for a while, it's a struggle. So that's definitely a great one for those of you who are kind of more intermediate towards advanced, to keep working on songs like those. Those will really keep your pinky in tip-top shape. Alrighty. So I know that was a lot. Let's put the guitar down for a second. Oh, I left that up, didn't I? So I know that was kind of fast. If you are a subscriber or a patron of mine, I'm gonna drop the tab for that song with all the different embellishments and stuff in it. That'll be on Patreon today, shortly after the stream goes posted to the channel. So I'll drop a link to that on a pinned comment after the video goes live. Aside from that, if any of this stuff is, you really, really like it, but you're not sure where to begin, right? Some of the stuff is just so over your head. Tizo, I can't play bar chords yet. Tizo, my pinky and ring finger just are stuck together. I don't know what to do. I am more than happy to kind of come alongside you and kind of show you what you can do to build up those techniques. If you are interested in that, I do teach private lessons via Zoom. Go ahead and drop me an email at tizoguitar, just like the channel name, tizoguitar@gmail.com, and just say, hey, I saw your stream, I'm interested in lessons, and I will be happy to send you some information and get back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, if you like these chord shapes, but some of these chord shapes are super new to you, I have something called Tizo's R&B Chord Library, Volume 1, which is available for purchase at the link below. It's basically a collection of 35 different chord shapes that I find come up the most, or chord types, I should say, that come up the most in R&B music. So I kind of wanted to create a resource for you guys that can just consolidate and have everything that you need to know, or the majority of the chords you need to know, just in one spot. Just make it easier. So if you're interested in purchasing that, it is available at the link in the description when the video gets posted to the channel. Aside from that, things you can do to help the channel that are absolutely free. Drop a comment when the video gets posted. Leave a like, please like the video if you enjoyed what we learned today. Subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell if you haven't already. Share it, tell your friends. Anything you can do to spread the word really helps the channel a lot, and it's absolutely free to you, and I would greatly appreciate that. Let me just check chat real quick to see what we got. Any questions? Mr. Red says, thanks for sharing. Happy to do it. Thank you for watching. And Ihan said, thank you. All right, I will give a couple minutes if you have any questions about what we went over today, or about guitar in general, or if you have any requests for content for future live streams, go ahead and let me know. Once again, Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. This is the music theory, technique, general guitar tips and advice will be on Saturday streams. Tuesday evenings, come back. We'll be learning a new song or some licks or something, some kind of chord progression to get you going and working in the genre of R&B, most likely. All right, if you have any questions, let me hear them. I'll wait a little bit and get some water because I'm tired of talking. CB says, awesome tutorial as usual. I appreciate you, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I want to hear you playing this soon. Yeah, if you learn anything from the channel and you are the type of person to post yourself playing online, please, please, please tag me. I would love to see that. That would make my day. You can tag me as at tizoguitar on Twitter or X, or whatever it's called now, as well as at tizoguitar, same thing on Instagram. That's where I'm most active, is Instagram, besides YouTube. All right, I think that we are good. We are good for now. Thank you so much for watching this week. I hope to see you all back on Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern. And please put some of the stuff into practice. Even if it's too hard for you right now, just start working on the pinky independence, right? Just do that 2-finger drill to get yourself started on that journey. All right, and if that's all we got, I will let you go and enjoy your weekend. See you here in a few days. Take care.